Hello and welcome to the Google Sites Fall 2020 training. I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome back. I'm Ursula Fabiano. I am part of your District Tech TOSA team, and I'm here to walk you through using Google Sites and why Google Sites is great. So what exactly is Google Sites? Google Sites is a web design tool. It allows you to create your own website very easily. You can also store your information and share information collaboratively. Just like on any Google tool, collaboration is key and it's wonderful. I love it. So some of the things that you're going to be able to do with Google Sites, so you can choose what makes sense to you. We're really recommending to create a teacher website because it's a great way for you to be able to communicate with parents and students. You can also easily organize and share your class materials, and you can get that straight from your Google Drive. You can get it from YouTube. It's a great way. It just integrates with your Drive so easily. It's a great way to introduce yourself and also get those class codes out to your out to your students. And those can also be private pages, so only the students or only certain people with the link can view it. Some other great options to use with Google Sites is to create a blogging or journaling portfolio. So even if you do create your teacher website, you could also include a blog on there. If you haven't already looked at tons of blogs from other teachers, there's great ones out there and they've got so many great recommendations. Another great thing you can do is have students do it. So students could also do the blogging and journaling. This is a great time for students to be able to get into that. So you could start them on creating their own Google site once you've got a chance to try it out. You could also have students create their own portfolios. So that's where they can gather stuff from their Google Drive and create what we call an e-portfolio. Another great thing to do with Google Sites is research projects. So if you want students to organize their information that they've found during a research project, Google Sites is a great place to do that. And it's easy to use. Bonus! So let's take a look at Google Sites and how we get in there. So let's dive in. There are quite a few ways that you can get to Google Sites. The first way you could do it is clicking on your waffle right here in the right-hand corner. As long as you're signed in, you'll notice that there's a place for sites right there. So if I click right there, it takes me to Google Sites. Now, if you'll notice, this actually is the old sites that it takes you to. And I don't want to use the old sites. So if you find yourself on this page, the only thing you have to do is click to go to the new Google Sites. And then I'm to my new Google Sites. So you could get there from clicking on the waffle. You can also you can just type in sites.google.com. Again, it's going to take you to that classic page, but we want to go to the new Google Sites. A way around that is if you go to your Drive, and you can also go to New, go to More, and you'll see Google Sites there. So if I click there, it takes me to the new Google Sites. I don't have to worry about clicking on it there. It actually just takes me to the start of a new page. So here I am, and the first thing that you want to do once you start a site is you want to title it. So to do that, we're just going to do that in the upper corner here, and I'm going to call this Fall 2020. All right, so now I'm going to click outside there. It's now saved my title, and you'll notice you also see the title right here. You can modify it down here if you want to, or you can leave it the same. That's up to you. So now that I've titled it, I have a few buttons up here that I want to pay attention to first. This is a great one here because this is the undo button, and that's always helpful. You can still use Control-Z or Command-Z if you're on a Mac to undo a function as well, but just know that this can undo it, and this one is your redo button. You can also preview your page. Right now I'm not going to preview, well, if I click there to preview it, there's not much to it, but it allows you to see what it would look like on a phone, on a tablet, or on just a regular computer. So that's kind of nice. So I'm going to exit the preview. The next thing I like to do is I like to change my themes. You'll notice you have lots of themes here. So choose the one that best fits your style. Whichever one you choose, I'm going to choose Impression. You can also choose the color focus for it. And if you don't like any of the ones they give you the option for, if you click on the paint bucket, you can select your own. Okay, so now I've chosen my theme, and I can also change the font style. So if I want them to be a little bit more narrow, or if I want it frank, or if I want it capital, I can do that. I think I'm going to stick with narrow for this one. So now that I've changed my theme, I'm going to go back over here to insert, because that's going to be the one tab that I'm going to want the most. So another thing that you can do here as well, if you want to kind of change the style of your page, I personally like to change the style first, but it's up to you. If you don't want to do the style first, you can save that for last. So if you want to change the image, you can upload your own image, or you can select an image that Google has provided here. There's also you could search by a URL, you can pull it from your drive. If you have any photo albums, you can pull it from there. For now, I'm feeling a little lights. All right, so it'll adjust it for readability. So that means it just kind of blurs it in the background just so you can see your title page better. If you don't like that, you can click that off. On this one, it didn't really do too much. Another thing you can also do here is change the header type. So if you want it to fill your whole page, if you just want it to be a large banner, a smaller banner, or if you only want it to be your title page. So this feature is going to be important because you can change it on all of the pages you could create. So up to you, whatever you like. I'm just going to keep it on the large banner for now. You can title your page. So if I want to, no. Just call it that for now. All right, so now I've got my theme, I've got my banner, it's starting to come together here. So what we're gonna look at next is all the fun things that you're able to insert. So they're pretty self-explanatory here, but let's just take a look. So if I add a text box, I can have normal text, I can have a title, a heading, a subheading. That's really just gonna determine the size of your text. So let's just say for now I'm gonna do a title. Hello and welcome. I can always change that if I want it to be a little smaller. Too tiny. All right, so, oh, what happened to my H? Hello. All right, so I can make this bold if I want to. So I'm gonna highlight this. I can make it bold. I can make it italic. I can center it in the page. I can add a link to it. So if I want them to click on hello and welcome and it takes them somewhere else, I can just paste that link right there. Or if I don't like it, if I change my mind, I can trash it. But I didn't want to do that, so I'm going to undo that. All right, so hello and welcome. And another thing that you could do on several things that you insert, you can also delete it from this side as well. So I can delete it from clicking on it, or I can delete it right there. I can also duplicate this. So let's say I want this further down the page. I can duplicate that. And I can also decide if I want an emphasis on this one. So if I want an emphasis, it's going to choose the color that I chose under my theme. So I've got, or I can have where it changes it, the background's a little gray. So you can kind of play with that a little bit. I kind of was digging this, so I'm going to leave that there. All right, so that's for text. So any text that you want to add, you can do that there. If you want to add any images, you can either upload or select them from into Google image search, or if you have them in your drive, or if you have any photos. If you have an embed code, which probably not likely that you will, but you never know, you can also insert embed codes here, but we'll leave that one alone. You can, this is my favorite part, pull stuff straight from your drive. So if I want to, oh, it's not in order, that's okay. If I wanted to pull the slide that I was showing you guys earlier, it was this one right here, all I have to do is double click on it and it pops it right in there. So this is really great because if you're doing anything with the students and you need them to be able to easily view a slide, so if you're creating your teacher website and maybe this is your back to school page, or this is the information you want to give them in the beginning. So I can move this around and you'll see it kind of alters the size if I want it to, but I want it right in the center. If I want to make it bigger, all I have to do is click on it. We get those blue dots in the corners. Just like in Google Slides, you pretty much always just want to pull it from the corners. You don't want to pull it from the sides because that kind of disorients the picture. So I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. I'm going to put it off to the side actually. And I'm going to insert a text box and say, please view this slide deck. So what I can do too is if I hover over this section here, I can pop it right here and it'll be right next to the video. So you can put things right next to each other as well. All right, so that pretty much covers this top part here. So you can pull again from your drive. So it does have your drive here. If you want it to be specific about where you're pulling from, you can scroll all the way down here and you'll notice there's forms, sheets, slides, docs, and a few other things there too. And we'll go more into this stuff in just a minute, but you can pull specific ones if you scroll down a little bit there. You can also select different layouts. So if there's a certain kind of style that you're looking for, so if I wanted to just go ahead and do this, I can do that, which was kind of similar to what I was doing up here, but you know, it's pre-made, so it's kind of nice. I can also have this where I can add images easily, and you can edit these images very easily. So if I do a Google image search for, I bet you can't guess, cats. Ooh, that's a beaut. Oh, I like this guy. All right. So if I add a cat there, I can still, if I double click on it, I can crop it. I can link just that image too. I can uncrop it from here. I can do a few different things. So that's so cute. All right, so you can choose different layouts here, whichever one suits your fancy. You can also add collapsible text. That just means whenever people are on the website, so let's say you've got a very long statement and you don't want it to take up a ton of the page. You can use collapsible text there, so then if people want to expand that on the website, they can. You can do a table of contents, which is always helpful if you've got a lot of content on one page. The image carousel, if you decide you want to add that, you have to have at least 2 images, and it just kind of scrolls through them for the people that are visiting your website. So that's kind of nice if you have a little photo album. Might be difficult now because we're not really taking pictures of the kids, but maybe you could show off some of the student work if you've got images of that. You can add a button. Buttons are kind of nice. You can name the button. And I'm just going to do google.com for right now. But you can have that button take them somewhere. So if I click that, I can say that this will take them back home. You can add as many buttons as you want. Usually they are used to take people somewhere. You can add dividers that kind of break up your page if you need to break up your page at all. And those can move around too. You just need to get those 4 arrows and then you can move it where you want. You can add placeholders. That just means you can add other things there. So maybe if you know you're going to be adding a video later, or you're going to be adding something from your drive, you can just put a placeholder. For YouTube, you can insert videos straight from YouTube if you have, if you know what you're looking for. So if I'm looking for something on nouns, you're going to have to make sure that it's approved for PSUSD. So don't just willy-nilly add these guys. You got to take a look to make sure that they are available. But for this presentation, I'm just going to get real crazy. I'm just going to add it. So that video is now straight onto the website. The kids don't have to go anywhere else. It's all embedded. So that's really nice. Another thing that you can add is a calendar. This is a really nice thing to add if you're using your Google Classroom to make assignments and you're having due dates on the assignments, because if I click on calendar, I can choose, I don't think I have any with any assignments that are due, but I can choose whichever calendar I want to embed. And so then that way the kids will get a quick look at any things that are due in the classroom. So that's also really nice. You can add a map if you want to, and then this is what I had mentioned before. These are things from your drive. Whew, that's a lot of stuff. Sorry if I went too fast, but hey, this is a video, so you guys can slow it down and check out what you need to. We're almost done. So the next thing that you might want to pay attention to, so we've got a lot of stuff there, is pages. Because you don't want to have everything all on one page. You kind of want to spread out the love, right? So I don't want to just have a home page. I might want to have, and I'm going to go down here, a new page that has just photos on it. Done. All right, so now I've got a whole new page. I can add photos or whatever it is that I want to add to the site. If I go back home, I can go back and edit that one. I'm going to go back to photos, and maybe I want to add, I don't want to just put all my photos here. Maybe I want to have the students be able to navigate to a smaller selection of photos. And I'm realizing now maybe I shouldn't say photos. I'm going to rename this one. So to edit any of them, I just need to click on those 3 buttons there. And I just remembered rename is not here. I just have to click on it. Double click. And I'm actually going to call this Unit 1. So if I want the students to be able to navigate Unit 1, Week 1, I don't want to have a whole new page for Week 1. So I can actually add a sub-page. So if I add a sub-page here, I'm going to call this Week 1. So now the students on my page are going to see my home. So this is their navigation up here at the top. They're going to see home, and they're going to see Unit 1. They can scroll down and go to Week 1. So if I have anything for here for Week 1, I can do that. So again, to add a sub-page, I'm just going to click on those 3 dots. It also allows me to make this the home page instead. I can duplicate the page. I'm going to skip over properties here. I can add a sub-page again, or I can hide this from navigation. So what that would mean is students wouldn't be able to see it up here, which is going to make it hard for them to get to. So you may not want to do that in this case, but it does come in handy every now and again. So if I want to add a sub-page, I'm going to say Week 2, done. So now when the kids get here, they can see Unit 1, here's Week 1, here's Week 2. If I want to rearrange these, I can do so by just clicking and dragging. And now it made it its own page, so I want to make sure it's right underneath. Getting a little crazy here. All right, so I've got some pages. I've got extra pages. So you can do it for units. If you're teaching multiple subjects, you can put each of the subjects up there. If you're focusing on a certain unit, or you don't have to call it Unit 1, you can have a better name than Unit 1. Maybe if the focus is on friendship or, cells, any of those kind of fun things. So those are your pages. So the last thing that you want to be able to do is take a look at your settings for the page. So I'm going to click here on settings, and I notice here I can change where the navigation is. So that means I can either have it on the top like I do here, or if I'd rather have it on the side, I can have it there. So that means the kids would have to click there to get to the navigation. Whatever your preferences is, sufficient. Brand images, that's if you want to insert a logo. So maybe if you want to insert your school logo, you can do that there. Viewer tools, we don't really need to worry about this. We don't need to worry about analytics. If you want to have an announcement banner, that's where you would add that there. So main thing that you're going to focus on is the navigation on this one, if you want to change where it's at. Next up, I'm going to click on the 3 dots here, just so you can see if I made some changes and I really didn't like any of the things that I did. I can go to version history just like you could on a Google Doc, and I can change it back to an old version. I can duplicate the site if I want to have something similar. So if I've got, maybe if I'm teaching 2 classes and I want to have a different site for each class, but I want to have some of the same material, I can duplicate it. You can also get help here. So if there's more questions that you have and you kind of want to do it on your own, you can take help there. Remember though, your TOSAs are here to help you. But if you want to take a look at that, feel free. You can also take a tour here. So last but not least, we're going to take a look at how we share and publish our site. So if I want to share this with somebody, all I have to do is click right here. I can type in what I want to do, who I want to share it with. I can add sharing restrictions. If I am sharing it with people, that means that they are able to edit it if I set them in there that way. So if I decide I'm going to share with Eddie, I'm going to click whether or not I want him to be an editor or if I just want him to be able to view it. So that's going to be really important if you're sharing it via email, and that just notifies them. I'm going to cancel that because I don't think Eddie needs this. So I can also share just the link, but if I want to share the link, I have to publish the site first. So I'm going to go ahead and click publish. And now I can also check my publish settings. So I can change again my ending of my website. I'm going to go out of there and I'm going to go over here to the link. There's my published site link, but I want to make sure that it's viewable for, apologies here, I'm just clicking all over the place. I want to make sure it's available for people, maybe if I'm giving it to parents. So I want to make sure that it's not just for Palm Springs Unified, unless I only want people in Palm Springs Unified to be able to see it. If it's restricted, that means I have to invite people individually. So if you're having students create sites, I would recommend one of these top 2. But if you want parents to be able to access the site, or if you want people to be able to access it that aren't signed into Palm Springs Unified, then you're going to want to select anyone with the link. So I'm going to go ahead and click done. And now I can grab the link from right here and pay attention to which page you're on. So right now, if I share this, I see at the end here, it says that this is Unit 1, Week 2. So that means whoever I share it with, this is the page they're going to go to. So if I want them to get the home page, I've got to click on home, and then I can get the published link from there. So I can copy that link, paste it wherever I want, send it in an email to parents via Synergy, send it to students via email or in Synergy, all those fun things. So hopefully that wasn't too much, too fast, but like I said, you can always go back and view it later. So let's just take a quick look at this last bit here. So we dove in. Hopefully you didn't feel like you were drowning or sinking. But just a reminder that your Tech TOSA team is here to support you. Bhavani and I are here for elementary support or primary support. You can email us individually, depending on your school site, or you can email us both, and it'll go to both of us at primarysupport.psusd.us. Or if you are secondary, you have Eddie and Kathy as your secondary support. You can, again, email them individually, or if you want to reach both of them, that would be secondarysupport@psusd.us. Thank you so much for taking the time to participate in our professional development. I hope it was helpful for you, and I hope that you're able to get those Google Sites, your teacher website ready for the students. I know we don't have much time, but I have faith in you. You guys rock. You're awesome. So one last thing for technical support. So if you need anything plugged in or uploaded or any of that kind of stuff, you're going to need to contact Help Desk for that. But moving on, thank you so much. You guys are awesome, and we'll see you in Zooms. Have a great day.